Welcome to 2025, a year that will probably be filled with volatility, where stock picking will rule and investors will be rewarded for diversification, meaning broad stock market gains can't be relied upon to make you money, and instead backing companies will probably make you better gains. Companies meaning stocks. Welcome to the Daily, our first for 2025. My name is Jessica Amir, a market strategist here with Mumu. Well, if the first 2 weeks of 2025 and the next 3 are something to go by, we know we'll probably be in for one heck of a bumpy ride. We've seen US stock market indices, the key ones, tumble and erase all market gains since the US election, and bets are completely eroding that the US will cut interest rates this year. Meanwhile, we've seen electric and nuclear energy stocks make some life-changing moves higher. We'll get to those in just a sec, but first, what is going on? Well, the trifecta is at hand. It's a pretty strong trifecta. We've got the US presidential inauguration next week, a strong US jobs report indicating there's perhaps no need to cut interest rates in the US, and rising inflation expectations. This week's inflation data release will probably be another catalyst that could push down US key indices, while we have Trump's inauguration that could drive up the price of Bitcoin and key stocks such as MicroStrategy. We already have been speaking about MicroStrategy. We spoke about that a lot last year, and this has now become an even greater holder of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy now owns 2.1% of Bitcoin supply. So could Bitcoin and MicroStrategy break higher next week? That's the question that investors will be betting, and indeed you might be expecting some buying in MicroStrategy. So keep your eye on that. What else do you need to consider? Well, firstly, it appears that selling is continuing, and that's continuing to push down interest rate sensitive indices and stocks. These were some of the hardest hit on Friday. We've seen the small cap index known as the Russell 2000 in the US. That's down 2.2%. It's now in a correction, meaning it's down over 10% from its high. It's down 11%, in fact, from its high. While the pin-up index, the S&P 500, is down 4.3% from its high. But secondly, also consider, as we mentioned at the outset, we've seen life-changing moves made in hydroelectric and nuclear energy stocks. What are we talking about here? Well, Constellation Energy, another stock that we spoke about a lot last year. We're probably going to be speaking about it a lot this year again. Now, Constellation Energy, guys and dolls, Constellation Energy shares roared up 25% in one day on Friday alone. A life-changing move to the upside. Vistra Energy, a peer in nuclear energy, they followed higher. Definitely keep your eyes on Constellation Energy. It's inked a deal to create the largest US fleet of power plants in the US. Also consider that Constellation Energy is already the biggest producer of nuclear power in the US. It supplies 30% of US nuclear power to the grid, directly sells uranium to companies that we spoke about a lot last year. They sell nuclear energy directly to Microsoft, Amazon, and Bank of America. Bank of America is their largest client, FYI. What else to consider? Oh, airline stocks, they're in the rage. They're all the rage, in fact. Airline stocks are on the rise globally. Down under, we've got the flying kangaroo Qantas. Their shares are trading around record all-time high territory. So well done to those that have been buying into Qantas. Now, Qantas is in fact up about 4% this year. Doesn't seem like much, but if you bought in the pullback late last year on October, you would have made 34%. So there's a lot to be said about buying quality stocks in market pullbacks. So just ignore the noise. Consider looking at quality stocks in market pullbacks. Perhaps that's something for you to consider and weave into your own strategy, whatever that is. Also note, last but not least, the Aussie share market. The Aussie share market could potentially outperform and may probably outperform the US market this week if the trends are continuing. And last but not least, do consider that stock picking and backing, those key themes, will probably generate the most returns for investors this week, and indeed probably for 2025. That's the daily. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.